What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of the Celebrity Junk. Erica Mena, or Mena, whatever you want to call her, made a really startling post on Twitter. It was either yesterday or the day before, and it was shared on the Shade Room, where it also got over 370,000 likes, over 14,000 comments. And this was a post that was dedicated to, mothers around the world, especially those who might be, single parents. I would think there's some tonality there, and got a lot of response to it. But a little bit about Erica. She's a, reality show person, model, and we all know that recently she was married to Safaree. She has filed for divorce, and before that she dealt with Bow Wow. So that just goes to show you what kind of lady that she is. She's dealing with these men that are very immature, not accountable for their actions, and she can attract those men because of the kind of person that she is. And that's important. It's important to understand this, because many ladies out there in the world today have a problem with the guys that they deal with, and then they want to put guys down and elevate themselves, but they never want to address what sort of men that they're attracting in their lives. And when you hear this statement, you understand what I'm saying. So let's get into it. Day music! There's no picking and choosing what days you want to be hands-on or not. Mommies are 24/7 around the clock. Us mommies deserve all the praises in the world, especially the ones who hold it down financially as well. We're the real kings in this life. Now let me just say this. I do not have any sort of disrespect for the love that a mother gives a child. I mean, I can tell you that because I love my mother. My mother's done a lot for me. She watches all my videos on this channel. I'm pretty sure that many of you guys feel somewhat similar about your mother or grandmother in your life. I will not discount the fact that mothers or grandmothers deserve praise, because they do, despite many shortcomings that anybody may have. But see, the problematic one is we talk about the ones who hold it down financially as well. We the real kings in this life. Well, let me just say this. If you're a woman and you're holding it down financially as well, then let's talk about that. Let's have a really good discussion. If you're holding it down financially for your kids, well, how did you get there? Okay. If you're holding it down financially for your children, you had a baby by a guy who was not helping you. What does that say about you? Now, if the man passed on, if he died, that's different. But most ladies who are even talking like this have never even been married. When you were even sleeping with the guy, there was even no, any agreement on any kind of relationship. The baby could have just happened. So then now you want credit for holding it down financially for a child that you created. No, you don't get credit for that, because it's called being an adult. Okay? It's called being an adult. Many times I think in the world today, people, not just women, but certain people want credit for doing things that adults do, like paying your own bills, paying your own car notes, okay? Taking care of the kids you create, like wearing deodorant. These are things that you are supposed to do because you wanted to do it. So if you got pregnant, if you were having sex without a condom, and then you couldn't find a man that would help you take care of the kids and hold it down financially, you don't get props for that. That's what you're supposed to do. And I do know that being an adult is not easy all the time. And I do know that being a good mother is something that requires effort. But you're not going to sit down and I'm supposed to praise you because you hold it down financially. This is what you wanted to do, so deal with it. But the last comment is one that's disturbing. We the real kings in this life. It's easy to say that, when you pick guys like Safaree, Bow Wow, guys who have problems, who are not mentally ready to be men, because if they were, they would have never dealt with you in the first place. So when you say that we the real kings in this life, and you get all of these likes and stuff like that, in other words, you're better than men. This is what happens. But when we look at the outcomes of women like you who have this mindset, and we look at the community these kids come from, I don't know if I can believe that. Because, here's when I hear people talk like this, I can tell you where they're coming from. They're coming from urban area environments where, it's like African American, and you hear sometimes some white, but you hear it in some of the Latin American communities. And if you really gauge where these people live and where their children live, and you look at how much money they make talking like this. Look at how their children are going to perform and talk like this. We the real kings in this life, and go look at how those schools are. Look at the test scores. I can pretty much guarantee you that they are not better than people coming from two-parent homes. Because women that are coming up in great two-parent homes don't even talk like this. This is how you sound when you're bitter. This is how you sound when you have unaccountability. This is how you sound when you don't do what you're supposed to do and choose the right mate. So let's go ahead and say that we're the real kings of life. I can tell you what, King, Mena, I don't care what you do. But as long as you and other, hive-minded ladies that feel like you, long as you guys live somewhere not around me, I just don't care. Because see, this is what happens when the children come from ladies like this and they learn femininity from women like this. That's how you don't get marriages, right? Because these women don't know what to do when they come across men. Because their mothers teach them this stuff at a young age. Some of these mothers are really stopping their young daughters from actually pairing up with a good guy because they hear all this poison. And then they become single mothers themselves, and the cycle repeats itself. See, you cannot try to put down men for your own efforts, or your lack of your own efforts. Because what if a guy who can clean takes care of his own stuff? Like, what would it sound like if he says, "We're the real nurturers of the world. We're the real queens of the world"? You would be offended, and you would think that that's very homoerotic. But this is a cry from help for somebody who's fighting a divorce, who's going through a dysfunctional relationship, who wants to make herself feel better for shortcomings. And again, we got to get out of this. A woman has a role to play. A man has a role to play. What is up with this all this competition from women in the urban environment against men? Especially men that are black or Dominican or like, why is there so much competition? What are you competing against? Because if you're the real queens, the kings in this life, okay, then you go out there and build all the freeways. Since you're so much of a queen, you assemble all the cars. You assemble all the concrete. You do all the things in the world that men do by yourself. Drive these trucks distance, and I do know women do that, some of them. But all of the heavy labor work that men are doing, then we'll see who's the real king. I can guarantee you the economy is shut down tomorrow. And it's disrespectful. But fortunately for us, not every woman thinks like this. There's a lot of women out there who are not gonna, keep catalyzing this buffoonery and foolishness. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I really appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell, check out the first comment at the top. And as you know, the buffoonery remains an all-time high. I'm out.